Recording? Ah.
Hello, Calvin.
Hello, Luchana.
I'm so happy that you accept the invitation for this chat, we could say.
I'm very happy to be here.
Yeah, so do I. It's a joy to just sit here and chatting basically about nothing.
Yeah, exactly.
So first, which comes first is like to ask you, what did you looking for, or what the character Calvin was looking for? Do you remember?
What was Calvin looking for? I guess peace. You know, that was the main thing. It's like peace of mind and to be free from anxiety and stress and I guess a way out of suffering. Really, you know, that was it. You know, and I wasn't always looking in the right direction. So when I look back, I was chasing after relationships and jobs and different things. So the seeking, if you like, if we call it that, it was going in all sorts of different directions and nothing was working. So yeah, to be happy and to be at peace and to be relaxed. And so yeah, so then I stumbled on Christianity and Buddhism and all sorts of different things, and before stumbling into non-duality.
Fascinating.
Yeah.
So we could say that the seeking, we could call it seeking, starts a long time ago. Not seeking for something in particular, but there is this constant, I don't know, agitation or constant longing.
Yeah, there's a feeling of like something always not being right. No matter what I did, it was like this kind of constant feeling of like, you know, there's always something else to get. There's something else that I haven't found yet, you know, and it was this kind of itch, I guess you can call it a ditch.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And the second question comes very natural, like, and what did you find? Did you find something? Did you find peace? The end of suffering? I don't know.
Well, relationships in general, I think I found a lot more suffering, so that wasn't working, definitely. And then diving into, well, Christianity, you know, the Calvin was looking for explanations for life. You know, why is it like this? Why is it like that? And so Christianity, as much as I loved it, and I loved the church that I belonged to, it didn't really answer the questions that I had, you know, and I was looking for deep, I guess, existential questions, which, yeah. So then I got into Buddhism, which that did answer some of these questions, but then at the same time, again, I loved a lot of the practices and the people, and it was very, very beautiful in many respects, but it was so complicated, and I wasn't very good at meditating, and so then I got into this circle of like, I'm a bad practitioner and I need to do more and do more and do more, and I need to study this and study that, and it just blew my mind in the end. It was like, you know, so I took a step back from that, and I was still meditating, but I wasn't really as invested as I was before, because it was it just became too much, really, too much mind stuff. It was a lot of, you know, going into the mind and looking and practicing, and and it didn't seem to help after all of that in some ways, and added another kind of layer of complexity to life, because already I wasn't feeling great myself. Plus I had to do all of these things and I didn't feel good about doing the things that I was doing. There's like, oh my God, what's the way out here? So, and at the same time, I found Muji, who was proposing something a lot simpler. So I actually went to India to see him, and I did a retreat with him. And so this kind of led me on a different path, which seemed to be a lot simpler, and I thought, this resonates a little bit more, this is, this is resonating a little bit more with what I feel, is a path that is a path for me, if you can call it that. So no, I didn't find the results or the solutions or the answers I was looking for, and all of these things that I did until kind of moving in towards this kind of non-duality, because I'm a simple guy, and I just really wanted something simple, something. It had to be simple. It couldn't be all of this complicated stuff. It didn't feel, it didn't resonate. So
I didn't know this part of the story about Muji, and I was just surprised. Like, the story is the same was here. Almost.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't go to India. I just went to Lisbon once.
Okay. Yeah. I went to see him in London 2 or 3 times, and this was a long time ago. And it was very beautiful because it was a very small Sangha at the time. So, we were in this room with about 30 people in Brixton, and I really enjoyed, it was such an intimate setting. And then the next time I went to see him again in London, that was a few years later, suddenly there were like 300 people in the room. I thought, oh, yeah, Muji's got big all of a sudden. It became very popular. So, and then in India, it was even more people, like, I don't know, 500 people in the ashram. So yeah, so that was a little bit off-putting in a way, because it wasn't quite such an intimate setting. The message was still beautiful, but it was a bit of a different feeling. But yeah, I still love Muji. I think he's does some beautiful teachings and a beautiful message, and he's a very genuine, beautiful person, or being.
Yeah. And then what?
After
so did you didn't find those answers that you are looking for?
Well, at the time when I saw Muji, I was still practicing a little bit of Buddhism. I was actually living in a Buddhist center. So there was like this kind of backwards and forwards between Muji and the Buddhism, and so I was a bit kind of confused in a way, because there was this kind of simple message that Muji was passing on, and then there was this kind of liberation or this enlightenment that Buddhism was proposing. So it was like, oh, I don't know what's right, which path I should follow. But at that time, I took a step back. I decided to move out of the center. That was in part due to a relationship that I had at the time. And I moved out of the center, and I kept up a little simple Buddhist practice and a meditation, but I wasn't as invested. I wasn't going to the center quite as much. And I was moving towards something simpler, a very simple practice of looking and seeing what's here, what's here present, rather than looking, outside of myself. It was more a kind of an introspective, what's going on here? What's this all about? And but it took me a long time. It was a long time to I guess it was like half in and half out. And it was like, half of my energy was going into relationships and still looking outside for things. And then there was like another half of me, which was like, you know, just reading and lots of things really, you know, I am that, and going to different satsangs and following different people left and right. But it wasn't an investment that was like, that allowed me to really look deeply. It was like, yeah, I know there's this thing going on, non-duality, and yeah, it kind of seems right to me, but there's all these other things that I'm really looking for in my life as well, like, you know, a good relationship. And so I went through quite a lot of difficult relationships. And, you know, now I look back at those relationships and they were very useful because they kind of led me back to here. But at the time it was like, oh my God, you know, this is just crazy. You know, it really wasn't, it wasn't giving me what I was looking for, but it was also creating a lot of suffering, you know, a lot of suffering. So I guess in a way that kind of pushed me towards this kind of more intense search, this more intense looking to what this is, because obviously whatever else I was doing wasn't working. So
Yeah,
so it's like that.
I guess everyone eventually there is this not final, but goes to this point that all that seems to is happening, or all that I'm doing doesn't work at all, because you're facing again the same thing.
Yeah, exactly, same problems. Yeah. So yeah, just keep trying and trying. It's got to work, you know. With this person, it's got to work, and the next person, it's got to work, and it's, yeah, like you say, it's the same problems really. You know, different person, same problems.
Yeah.
So yeah, and in fact, in all my life, really, I've always been in a relationship. You know, kind of a lot of long-term relationships. Well, not a lot, but you know, some long-term relationships. And I never really spent a lot of time on my own. And I think, you know, this year in January, when we, you know, broke up with my partner, or she broke up with me, to be more precise. And that was really, you know, the time when I just thought, yeah, this is it. You know, obviously relationships, I'm not going to just jump into another relationship. You know, this is really time for looking and spending time just really discovering more about myself and what all of this is, this life thing, this, yeah. So it's a more intense, you know, more intense search. And so yeah, I was in touch with somebody called Terence Stevens in Australia, that I learned about through Sailor Bob in Australia as well, in Melbourne. And I'd followed him as well on and off at the same time as Muji. I listened to a lot of his teachings, but they didn't make a lot of sense. It was like, there was something there, but yeah, it wasn't quite resonating. But something, I guess, there was kind of a thread all the way, like, you know, something I couldn't let go of. You know, I've never really let go of this searching or this looking in non-duality terms. You know, really, there was something there that I couldn't, you know, like a dog with a bone. I couldn't let it go. So yeah, so that was, I had quite a few one-to-one sessions with Terence and satsangs, which clarified things. And what's beautiful about this is, like, you know, listening to different teachers. There are teachers that resonate more than others, like Tony Parsons. You know, I spent quite a lot of time listening to him, and I've even chatted to him on the phone a few times. It's been nice. And you know, different teachers have got different, well, he wouldn't say teachers, but, you know, different speakers on this subject. You know, I've got different views, so they've got different, like, you know, attacks to lovingly guide people along this path. And Tony Parsons is just so direct and unwavering and very just very direct. You know, he doesn't take any crap. And so that's refreshing. That was so refreshing, you know. So I had quite a lot of insights thanks to him, you know, little light bulbs coming on and like, wow. And yeah, so that was nice. And then, yeah, then I discovered Ilona and Liberation Unleashed, and you, and also Emerson on Nothing FM. So yeah, there was this seemed to be kind of a rush of all of these these kind of talks going on at the same time. I just couldn't get enough of it. I was like, just spending so much time just really listening, and looking, and yeah, and being on the forum with you was just the most beautiful thing, and the most intense, because like pushing. Look at this, look at this, look at this.
Can you share it with your own words? What happened there? What happened? Does something happen at all there?
Well, what was beautiful with the Liberation Unleashed was that each question I had and each looking, it was like having the time to really look. So reading the questions, rereading your beautiful answers and the questions that you asked me, allowed me this deep looking, but the space to do that in. When there's a one-to-one conversation, sometimes a little bit intense, whereas this was kind of the freedom to just kind of, when I had time and to, this inspiration to do this. It was like this deep looking, and I'd ask the same question again and again and again. One of the things that you said to me, which was really important, which really struck, was this repeated looking, just repeated looking,
yeah, it's like constant bringing back to what's happening.
Yeah, it's
right
not
now.
enough just to look once and say, oh yes, I see it, and they're like, right, okay, what's for dinner? It's and that seemed to happen more and more naturally. Like there was a more and more kind of intense and looking, and then like there'd be another subject, so there'd be all these themes that we would look at, like time or free will.
Yeah, we can put light on this. Yeah, there is questions are popping like now, like so all these looking. Did you find Calvin somewhere? Did you find something?
No, I didn't find Calvin. Yeah, it was.
Was it surprising or was it scary? How?
Well, yes and no. It's kind of a gradual thing here, because one of the things that I thought I might just share, that I shared with you before, was a holiday that went on this year with some friends, and it was a very beautiful holiday, but it was an extraordinary experience because it was the first time, as far as I can remember, where everything seemed to happen naturally. There was like, and this was kind of in the middle of this searching with you, so it was kind of a two-pronged attack, really. And what happened was that I realized that there was less Calvin going on in that holiday. There was less of him wanting to, I don't know, give his opinion or to have things happen in the way that he wants them to happen. Everything was kind of fluid and flowing, and I didn't quite know what happened. It was really strange. So when I came home, I refound Calvin. He was like, attached to this house or this flat and his activities. And there's like this big difference between how, what happened on holiday and then what was happening here. And it's like, what's the difference, And I realized that the difference was that there's this big idea of a Calvin who has to live life a certain way and wants things to work in a certain way and has opinions on this and on that. And that wasn't really happening during the holiday. So there was already this kind of feeling, like an understanding, if you can call it that, what was going wrong here, where this suffering was happening, was in this believed in Calvin. So this looking was like really complementary to what I'd experienced in this holiday and to what we were looking at together. So yes, it was surprising, but not as much as it could have been. I think because there was this kind of gradual, like looking. Oh yeah, it wasn't just one moment. Like okay, there's no Calvin. It was really just a very gradual process and an opening, if you like, and a revealing of this this person. So yeah, but it nevertheless, there was I think that the surprise was the holiday. Like, what happened there? Why was it so easy? Why was conversations are happening easy and easily? Yeah. So that's been a kind of a gradual seeing through that, Calvin. And then you ask the question, did he ever exist? Did Calvin ever exist? And it's like, oh my God, no, he never did. So that was a surprise. I guess that was more of a surprise than the Calvin not happening now. This believed in entity struggling and suffering. But it's a continual opening, continual surprises. And I think I mentioned to you before, like the most striking difference at the moment is really with relationships and conversations and just this ease of relating is just incredible. Like, it's just, there's no me talking. It's like this is so strange. There are words coming out here and yet it's just like there's the words coming out and there's the seeing of the words coming out, and it's like just so easy. There's no thinking, what am I going to say next? And what's this person thinking of me? Or it's just so fluid. It's just so incredible, and so much love. Just kind of a softness, a real softness of life, and like a ludic, like it's very playful and not so serious, and just it's just incredible.
And it has always been the case. It's the most surprising thing. It has always been like this. It's just these ideas here that it is in a certain way.
Yeah, it feels like layers and layers have been built on through conditioning or through experiences or whatever, and it feels like layers have been just kind of peeling off, and then what's left is this kind of nothing but love, unconditional love, this fullness of, you can't explain it, but it's a fullness and an emptiness at the same time. It's like it's no person, but it's full of, can't say really.
Words are just hardly touch this. But
Exactly.
Look at us speaking about this.
Yeah, something's happening here.
Oh. You mentioned time and what we also looked at, memory, I guess.
Yeah.
How the time is perceived now? Is there any difference? Is there a time?
Yeah. What seems to have happened, if I can explain it in kind of a visual sense, is like, because most of my time was spent, my mental time was spent in past and future. That was really, it was all about regrets, all about what I should have done, and also a lot of fear, about the future. So it's like the future and the past have been pushed out. It's like there's no space anymore for them. And then there's just this, what's here now, and that's it. That's it. So time is a strange thing to talk about really now. It's obviously there's practical time still needed, but it's it's just this. There is no time. You can't really say there's any time as such, because where would it be? It's not tangible. Where is a minute ago? Where is, a minute in the future? It's not something you can grasp onto. It's so, yeah. And that's so beautiful. Is one of the things that I noticed was that the here and now and the lack of time seemed to go hand in hand with the lack of the person. So the person disappeared, and then there's like this opening up of like this, just this. So there can be no time in this really, because it's just happening now. And even it doesn't sound right. So yeah, it's just open, and it just feels like open, just expansive, open. So yeah, and if I can explain it, like before, there was like this notion of me moving through time. So like, birth and death, and moving through my life and age and all of that kind of stuff. And it's kind of flipped that on its head now. It's like, there's just seeing, and then appearances moving through this happening. So it's quite difficult to explain, but it's like completely opposite of what I imagined it was. So, and it's such a relaxed, it's because of thinking of birth and death. It's so, it's so fearful, because like I've got so much time in my life, and I've got to do this, and fear of death and fear of what's going to happen in the future.
And this, I need to do something in my life, because this time is given to me. This and how.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and that's all just gone out of the window. It's like, it's what happens just happens, and it happens here and now, and it's not like chasing after time. I was always chasing after time. It's like not enough time. I've got to get this done by this time, and it's like pressure, and stress, and yeah.
Yeah, it seems that life is lighter in a way, but yeah, in this lightness, it's like there is a room for everything.
Yeah, exactly.
And this lightness, I know that this lightness, this saying that life is lighter, it's fascinating hearing this. And some can say, oh, I need to find this lightness. But it is all there is.
Yeah, it's already here. Yeah, one of the things that is beautiful as well is, it's difficult to say, but there seems to be less of me and more of me. So there's less of the Calvin description, like this is me, I'm like this is my personality, but there's an opening to the natural, whatever this is, appearing through this body is happening more. So like, I can only give an example really. For example,
yeah, sure,
when I'm teaching,
please.
So when I'm teaching, because I'm an English teacher and I have my students, before there was like, how am I going to be? How am I going to act? How am I going to teach? And now there's this like, it just happens, and there's more of Calvin, there's joking, there's lightness, there's just an interaction, which is just dynamic, and it's just happening. And there's a joy in the seeing of like this, oh my God, how did that happen? Oh yes, this joke happened and I made them laugh. And it's all just it's just fluid. It's just so beautiful to see. It's such an enjoyment and a joy of this, whatever's happening here. And it's not me doing it. And it's like a seeing, like I was saying about the talking before, it's like a seeing of the talking happening, seeing of the action figure doing its thing effortlessly. And it's just beautiful to see. It's just so, it's like without constraints, like there isn't the constraint of like, you know, having to behave in a certain way, or trying to guard, like, you know, have some kind of watchful eye of how I should be, how I'm going to appear, and it just happens naturally in the moment again.
Yeah, it's like there is a freedom for the character to be the way it is.
Naturally.
Like,
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Beautiful.
And it's like, what's going to happen next? You know, what's he going to say next? What's he, you know, it's just this like thrill of not knowing, really, not knowing what's going to happen, what's going to be said, what's going to, it's like this conversation we're having. I had no idea what was going to happen, what words were going to come out of here, and what questions were going to come out of you. And
isn't it amazing?
But it's so beautiful. It's like, you know, you don't need to know. There's nothing that needs to be known. It doesn't have to be premeditated, and it's just, it happens as it happens.
Or contemplating the questions, or contemplating the answers, or whatever.
Yeah, it's so hard. It's so effortful to do that. It's so stressful.
You mentioned following different teachers, speakers before or in the past, in the so-called path, Calvin's path.
Yeah.
But what's happening now? Did you listen to anyone, or?
Oh yeah, okay, that's interesting. So I went through a phase where I couldn't listen to satsangs or teachings because they started to irritate me, and they just like the questions were irritating me. And I mean, it wasn't so much the sharing of the people or the teachers. It was more kind of the questions that came up, and it was just like, I don't know why, this is irritation. I had to turn it off, and it, you know. And that's kind of evolved into a different thing where I love listening to satsangs now, but not from a searching point of view. There's no searching. It's just, if I can use the analogy of before, that was like listening to satsang was like a cold shower. So it was like, you know, it's like, it was a shock, and like, you know, all of this message, like, you know, from a searching perspective, like, you know, wanting to know, wanting to understand. And now it feels like when I listen to satsangs or to talks, it's like settling into a nice hot bath, and it's like, this is so nice. It's like, you know, just letting all of the questions and the answers and the talking, it just like just flows, and it's just beautiful just to hear and to absorb, and there's no, it's just more kind of a resonating, just like a, you know, settling into what's being talked about, and it's just beautiful. It's just so nice just to,
yeah, it is. It's like drinking water when you are thirsty. It's the feeling is here is like this.
yeah,
but it's on waves, like it comes and goes, like sometimes.
Yeah. Same with reading, you know. I've been dipping into the I Am That by Nisargadatta.
And how did you find the book now?
Oh, it's very different. It's so beautiful. Oh my God, it's so beautiful. Yeah, I guess it's completely different in the sense that, you know, there's a mind of searching which wants to know, which wants to understand, and to, you know, it's the same with satsangs. You know, there's this searching mind that wants to understand, which can never understand. It can never get it. It can never grasp what's being spoken about. Yet it's almost, it seems to be necessary on this journey. So what's happening now is just, you know, the same thing with the satsangs. It's just a resonance. It's just like, you know, just nectar. You know, you just kind of read a passage, and it's like, oh, it's just just feels so cozy and nice. And then you read something else, and it's just, yeah, it's just beautiful. Yeah. So yeah, I dip into there, and from time to time, and sometimes Tony's books, but it's just like you say, it comes in waves, you know. It's just, yeah. So I guess there's also just a lot of gratitude comes up. There's gratitude that comes up a lot for myself, this action figure, this being as well, for his journey and the search, and there's a lot of compassion as well for this, you know, this being as well, because all the journey has been so, you know, it's been very tough, you know, different ways. It's been really tough, and the search has been like, oh, yeah, there's been some really tough times on this journey. So looking back and just like gratitude for, like, you know, having stuck, you know, through thick and thin with this on this path, and if you can call it a path, on this journey, and gratitude for, you know, everyone that's been part of this beautiful journey, you know, and yeah, the beautiful sharings that have eventually led to clarity and to resonance and to whatever this is. This opening, yeah. So, but it's not finished, of course. There's no end.
That was my next question. So is there an end?
Yeah.
Is there an end? Is there a point that we go there and we put a flag and we say, hey, hey.
Yeah, see it.
I see it. I got it. Oh, it's done.
Yeah. No, I feel like a baby very much. Yeah, really. It's all still new. It's all still very very new. And as we spoke about before, there can be doubts that pop up, and like, you know, have I really seen through this? And so no, it's not. I don't think there's any end to this. It's just a deepening, but it's exciting. You know, that's the feeling that comes up a lot, is a real excitement for this life, for this, what's happening, and just a real, yeah, just an excitement for deepening, you know, going deeper and deeper, more things kind of opening up, and, you know, seeing more things, and like, you know, things that I didn't see before suddenly popping out, like light bulbs coming on, and it's just it's beautiful, you know. And I think there's a relaxing into that, you know. In the beginning there was like things like bulbs coming on, and there'd be like a time when nothing happens, like, oh no, but I've lost it, or something's going on, and, you know, oh my god, I have to go back to square one again, and that's kind of just settled down into, you know, whatever comes, whatever happens, and it's just, there's no like need for anything in particular to happen, or, you know. And I think that's why, you know, the kind of looking into or spending time in satsangs or reading is just it's all part of that, really. It's like a part of this deepening, and just enjoying, this message, and it's beautiful. So yeah, I've got no desperate need to be in a relationship at the moment. I think, you know, it's just enjoying what's happening, and that's it, really. It's interesting because I've got projects, and so I'm selling my flat, and I'm moving to a house in the country. And before, this would have been a big major thing, like, you know, oh my god, and I'm going to be so happy when I've moved into this house, and everything's going to change, and there's like, I don't know, maybe it will be worse. I've no idea what's going to happen. But, you know, these things that want to happen, there seems, you know, things that decisions have been made, and it happens, or it doesn't happen. It might be better, it might not be better. I don't know. I don't know anything. I have no idea about anything.
Oh. Yeah. And what comes now is like, is there is there anyone, or can you share around you this, or is there an impulse to share it all? Because I know, is there an impulse, a desire to share, or to just to share? Because I'm speaking with a lot of people, but not everyone is like accepting the invitation to make a chat, to record it, to post it somewhere, you know. And I know that this is just a part of the game of the character. It's nothing personal here. Yeah. But how is it for you?
I see. No, I mean, I'm very happy to do this, to have this chat with you, and because it's just a joy to share this anyway, just to share this, what's happening, and so that's just beautiful. It's just a beautiful sharing. Other than that, there's no impulse to do anything other than that at the moment. I think it's just settling down and really just continuing. I can say it like that. And who knows what will happen in the future? I don't know.
Yeah, no one knows.
Right now, it's just settling down into this and really enjoying whatever happens, whatever comes, and who knows in the future? Don't know. It's funny because in the beginning on this journey, I was like very excited to write, and I'd be writing different things that I discovered, and like, you know, my journey. Oh my God, I saw this today, and this and that. And,
you have a diary, like, oh.
Yeah, I was writing a diary for quite a while, and that kind of just stopped. It was like, I was going to say I couldn't be bothered, but that's not quite true. It was just I no longer felt the need to do that. It was just, I think it's because, I don't know, just this feeling of like just being with this in the moment rather than having to go away and then write it. It just felt like a bit cold in a way, like, you know, and it didn't matter anyway.
It's like something mechanic is happening. Like I need to write it because there is this possibility to forget maybe.
exactly. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and so that just kind of stopped, and like, you know, now I just think, well, what's here is here. That's it. You know, I don't have to write it down to remember it, because it's, you know, it's just here. So that stops. So but no, I used to write a lot of poetry, so maybe that will happen one day. I don't know.
Wow.
I don't know. But right now,
writing's happening here as well, mainly in Bulgarian. I don't know. If it will come in English, but now it's coming in Bulgarian. Not very often, but it happens.
You have to translate. I'd love to read it.
Oof, I don't know. We'll see.
Maybe.
Well, if I tell you that it's almost an hour, what would you think? Is there a time?
Wow, it's going very quick.
Yes, I told you. It goes like this.
Yeah.
Flashes like hour, month, year, lifetime.
Exactly. Yeah. And yet no time.
And yet no time. Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Calvin.
Well, thank you, Luchana. It's been an absolute joy and pleasure to share with you.
Same here. I think we will speak again soon.